let's get on to tonight's topic, which I'm actually really excited to talk about this living with intuitive gifts. And this is not just about me, this is also for you because this is really a big issue. I'm kind of surprised I haven't talked about it sooner because, I get so many people that are, why can't I be normal? Or, everybody treats me differently. Well, here's a bomb for you that might blow up the internet. You are normal. So having intuitive abilities or mediumship or psychic, whatever those are normal. You're born with those babies. So to think anything outside of not being in your intuitive state is what's not normal. So what we have to do is learn to really accept and embrace them. And, I'm going to be upfront with you. That's not always easy. It's not always easy for family, friends. Family doesn't usually go, but it certainly makes for some strained conversations at times and definitely some difference of opinions. Been there, done that. Um, Friends have come and gone out of my life because of the work I do. However, those few people that fell out were replaced by tenfold the number of people who are, also intuitive or honor me or accept me the way I am. And for this, I expect the same for you. I'm just going to adjust this slightly. I don't. There. There? Yeah. So the very. Oops. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Hope that didn't hurt. Okay. So, you know, and I'm going to talk with the utmost respect tonight, but I'm going to also be extremely candid because I am who I am, and I'm very loving. I'm very compassionate, very caring person. Very misunderstood because I am a rather assertive, big energy, but also a lot of um, trouble I've had over the years is just people being afraid of my abilities. And so, one of the things I wanted to set the record straight, and I'm not just going to talk about myself tonight, I'm going to talk about for yourself also. But I wanted to mention that one of the things that really kind of comes up, not so much in my world now because I've kind of purged everybody, but in the beginnings, people were really uncomfortable with the fact that, I could read minds, which I can't do. I don't think anybody can really read minds. That I'd know their deep, dark secrets, that I'd know what was going on or what they were thinking, um, and it never occurred to me that that was an issue, and it was. So, and I respect that, I get that, but also understand I don't have any interest in, walking around just plugging in and reading people's minds. I mean, it's not what I do for entertainment, for sure. So, the first, thing I can say to you as far as living with your own intuitive gifts is you must embrace them because they are not going anywhere. So you might as well get used to them and learn how to work with them. It's in your benefit. It's in your benefit in so many ways. And I don't mean in your benefit because you'll pick the winning lottery ticket or um, you'll pick the right dish off the menu. I mean, it's your benefit from a soul perspective because you are a soul. So just forget the whole human bullshit. You are a soul. Your job is to evolve spiritually while you're here. Your intuition is the navigator of that. Hands down. No, there's not even a discussion in that. That's the way it is. So you might as well jump on the intuitive bandwagon and learn how to work with it, learn and understand it, and so on and so forth. So, um, So to help you get started, I think we have to embrace our intuition, and that means, and what does that even mean? So for me, embracing is just to be accepting regardless of the situation or regardless of how it is. It's just taking it for what it's worth. It's about tuning into your heart and then, asking yourself questions. And I'm going to try and guide you through some of those questions tonight. And, if this is of interest to you, I always feel drawn to sort of speak. So even if it just makes sense to a couple of people, please take the time to just sort of reflect on what I'm sharing with you tonight or talking to you. And one of those things that when it comes to embracing our intuition or living with our intuitive gifts is to really ask yourself, like, what is it you're afraid of? Like, what's the worst possible thing that could happen? Okay, so I'll just sit here for a second while you think about it. Okay, so whatever you thought of is not true. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Whether or not you're afraid of something scary, yeah, I should have done this Halloween night. There is nothing scary. I believe, and from the bottom of my soul and heart, that everything is of love, everything is of the light, everything is of the divine. How can we possibly have anything scary there? Um, you know, Scary in the sense that something might startle you because it's unfamiliar. Well, that's human nature. That's going to happen. But, um, you know, are you afraid of that you're not really gifted? And actually, I hate that word. But, well, actually, you're gifted. I'm not gifted. I don't like it when I talk about myself. But um, what if you're not really gifted or can't really do this? Well, again, that's not true. You can think about that if you want for a moment. Okay, good, done. But that's not true because you were born with intuition. A baby has intuition. If you had children or have children, you know that when you think back to a brand new baby. If you don't have children, think about a kitten, think about a puppy. Intuitively, they know who their mother is. Intuitively, they know when they're safe. Intuitively, they know which way to crawl with their eyes closed, can't see, blind. Well, I guess they could probably smell too, but they know where to get their food. You get my point, okay? I'm just coming up with stuff as we go. So intuitively, you are born with those gifts, okay? So does living with those gifts make you feel like no one understands you? Well, yeah, that's going to happen. So, if so, what steps can you take, or that you need to support you to connect with other intuitive souls? So, if you're a immediate group, there's no place for your abilities, your intuition, your desire to grow intuitively, then we must look for like-minded people. And I think the opportunity right now is we're so used to having to like go out of the house and look for people, and we can't right now. So we have to go to our internet and we start searching. And I have found, like, even myself through COVID, especially the last month or two, because I'm doing a fair bit of research for the Divine Energy membership to launch some new stuff in January. So I'm starting to really do some research and education. And I have found some, like, Facebook groups that I am now members of in England, and I have one in Australia, um, which is really interesting time-wise. I ask a question, it takes a long time to get an answer. I have groups in the States that I belong to, other groups in Canada. I actually found, and I'm so excited, I haven't spoken to her yet, but I actually found someone very close to me who potentially is someone who I'm going to be looking at interviewing. just because. And she's like 10 minutes from here. I would have never found that. So we're in this time right now where you have the opportunity to explore and find like-minded groups, like-minded people, like-minded information, just to help you see that it's not you. It's a lot of people out there. And again, whether people who think we're crazy or not want to admit to it, everybody has intuition. Sometimes, they just apply it to their business sense and they think they just have a really good business sense, but really it's an intuition. So, first of all, just to sort of recap, what is it you're afraid of? And whatever it is, it's bullshit. Um, what does living with your gifts or your abilities, how does that make you feel out in your world, your posse, your group of people, and what can you do about that? So certain people we have to learn to work with, for example, family. But you just don't talk about it. I don't talk about it. I think one of the hardest things I know people have learned, and I know one of the hardest things for me was when we do start to explore and start into this journey of self, that we're so excited, and it's like, oh my God, and it's like that's unbelievable, and we want to like share and tell everyone, but the fact is, not everybody cares. And not everybody wants to hear about it for their own reasons, whether they're afraid, whether they don't want to believe, or they do believe, but they're afraid to. Who knows what the reasons are? So there's that. So the other thing, living with your intuitive um, abilities is to connect with like-minded souls. So, and then moving on is learning to handle the emotions of yourself and other people. So, other people that drain you, especially if empathic is sort of your go-to, which it's my experience that most people are empathic first, and with that, our own emotions are extremely draining, excuse me, and other people's emotions are extremely draining, and really can suck us dry. So it's learning survival techniques, learning survival tools to be able to get through your day emotionally. And that does not mean get through your day unemotionally. Because quite honest, as an empath, I absolutely rock the fact that I am so sensitive and so emotional. I like being emotional and sensitive. I know that none of my family, my son and husband, drives them around the freaking bed. Get used to it. That's what chicks are. However, I love the fact that I'm this sensitive because I'm this passionate. And here's the thing, empathics, people that are overly emotional, hypersensitive, we really are the people that get passionate and really make change in the world. So, and that's not just coming from me. I was taught that. So that's not just my own opinion, that's something I was taught. So once you've learned to sort of, tap into yourself, tap into your heart, look at what is it you're afraid of. What does living with your abilities look like? The people you surround yourself with, the places that you go, your emotions, how do they fit into your life? It's okay to be overly sensitive or empathic, but we can't let ourselves be drawn and um, drained. So we have to learn to work with that. And then the other thing is and here, step back for a second and think on this one. Do you doubt your abilities? So if you didn't say yes, you doubt them, then I think you're probably not human. Because I don't mind. We all have our moments where we doubt without question, especially if we're put in a position where, we have to be bang on, or we have to be sure, or somebody is so relying on us that, that pressure is on us. Or, and an example of this is, bless him, the family of the young man in Bradford who passed away this week. I was reached out to for help, and did the best that I could with what I had. But that's my whole point. If I was doing a reading, I wouldn't think twice about what was coming out of my mouth. But because there's so many other people relying on me now, suddenly I doubt my abilities, right? So we all have those moments, and just be okay with that, right? So once you've tuned into your heart, once you've allowed yourself to, sort of relax a bit, just take comfort in knowing that the feelings that you have are normal. Worrying about people judging you, not believing you, think that, you're a spooky spirit, and then the opposite, people that, you have to prove it to. Quite honestly, you don't have to do anything or prove to anybody anything. So that's probably one of the toughest things. So the thing is the only path that you have to worry about, the only thing you have to be authentic and prove to is yourself. So focus on those wonderful things in your life that your abilities bring you, and that's connecting with your soul, feeling, the divine guidance of the universe in your spirit team, finding that that sense of purpose in your life, that purpose from your heart, and that peace. And, and if so be it, using your abilities to help other people. There's just so many advantages to having it. So, and then you make new friends, and you build a new support system. Take an intuitive or development class, or join, I guess we can't take classes, but join a Facebook group for practicing, or an intuitive souls type page, or an empathic souls. There's gazillions of them out there, and maybe join 2 dozen and check them out, and you might dwindle yourself down to one, maybe two, that feel right for you. So, just sort of a final, I guess, in conclusion, or a final thought, I just want to say to you that working with your intuitive abilities, working with your psychic abilities, mediumship, whatever you call them, you're a pioneer, and you are a trailblazer, and it's people like you, and myself, who sort of pave the way for other people to inspire and use their own abilities. And remember that those abilities are a blessing